Yolenta has made her a return, much older, 25 years later. Good to see that she seems to be safe, well, and alive still, at least at the surface level. We'll have to uncover a little bit more and see what exactly is going on, what she's been up to all of these years with this new association that she has created in heads. I'm excited to see and hear more, especially from her. Draka and Schmidt had their little fun moments last episode, which were cool. Being able to talk, about the way that each of them kind of see things and how different they are in a way, but how the same they are in certain other ways too, is always some fun. And they got into a nice little conversation there. I'm still Smith's really, really on one end, and he's really interesting at certain points, and other points he just kind of loses me, and I don't understand exactly what he's thinking coming from. But he's intriguing nonetheless, so we're gonna let him rock and do his thing. I'm excited to see what more is in store here. I hope you guys are as well. If you like it all, like and subscribe. On, so feel free to stick around for the schedule and the comments. There's a series. Let's go on the 19th episode of Orb. Sounds super different. Missing the tooth still. Yeah, about that. She is the book at this point.
しかし、彼女は本の内容を記憶したと。その通りです。私はドラカ。どうぞよろしく。ではドラカさん、ちょっと来て。
You shall die. It'd be such a 180 if we logically it wouldn't make any sense to do that. The purpose of us bringing here was because it would have made sense to kill her before. It just would have been funny. Morality is something you find when you're lost. Morality is something you find when it's convenient to you. That's what I like to say. また火炙りを宣告したろ。今もこんな拷問を。それが何か？私は教皇直属の身ですよ。Not you, buddy. Not you. I don't care what you. ああ、そうだ。でも君はいくらなんでも過激すぎる。もう少し柔和な対応で回春を促すのが決まりなはず。Boring. しかし無駄だった。This guy was too far gone. 奴らに優しい顔を見せるとすぐこうだ。君こそ歴史を見たまえ。それはたかが200年前だ。もっと昔、500年前には大司教が魔女の権威をかけられたものを集団暴行から救っているし、400年前には呪術師でありながら法王の地位に。Yeah, but these are further than his example, so they hold less weight. 今まさに改革派やその後継団体の異端どもが正統派を攻撃してる。信徒はみんな不安なんだ。So we must dispose of them to defend it. Yeah, I don't know about that, bro. Yeah, I don't. It's a bold choice. このやり方で世界が好転してるとは思えない。君の言う通り、今や教会正統派の力は著しく失われてる。だが争ってどうする？他人を殺すのではなく、自分が死ぬことで教会を守れ。拷問と恐怖の上に成り立つ救済などない。違う考えのものを愛せ。Say? Say? お話は以上ですか？では私の番です。It's cool if we just drown him. 先日、我々の審問所が襲撃された。警備に当たっていた者と審問官の10名が死んだ。犯人は手口から言って異端解放戦線でしょう。しかしそこで気にかかることが、奴ら押収してあった本を盗んでいった。本？何の？地動説と呼ばれるものです。唯一の手がかりは文末に書いてあった一文と住所です。ポトツキに寄付しろと。I love how that's living on. ポトツキなる人物は大昔に死んでいて、現在その住所には全く無関係と思われる市民が住んでいるだけ。We should burn that guy in his place. ポトツキは
地動説を研究し捕らえられたものだ。その後彼の教え子と養子も地動説に関わり死んだ。35年前に私も担当した事件だ。まさかあの村の青年2人が、いや彼らも25年前に死んでるはず。それで
Burn all the
こちら
history.
が聞きたかったのは、操作するにあたり宇宙論に詳しい人材です。町外れの酒場に元異端審問官の男がいる。
Still living, and he's got it.
ダミアン司教に言われてきました。
He looks good. He's probably old as fuck too. But he's looking good. It's the alcohol. It's giving him color. Only way he'll talk. Yeah, he's here to drink. Just repeat it. Here to buy you a drink.
最近発生した事件についてご協力いただきたく。異端審問官。君が。はい。異端審問官なの。
You? My junior, you know what that means. I'm gonna buy me a drink.
今、司教のダミアンっているじゃん。
He does.
あれもともと俺の部下なの。で、昔世話してやった恩があるから、今は俺を個人的に雇ってくれてるわけ。つまり俺は働かなくても金が入る治療でに入れたのよ。わかる？働かなくていい
の。I have no obligation to help.
てなわけで仕事の話はなし。帰ってください。酒をおごらない人に用はないからさ。そのダミアンさんに言われてきたんですが。ああ、そう。帰って。
Irrelevant. You're dismissed.
彼もまた地動説に狂わされた一人だ。
In different ways, too.
あなたが担当した地動説の件ですよ。はあ、ありえない。
Spark some interest, maybe.
帰って。しかし、帰れ!
Spark one last go.
ありえない。
Uses his beard as a pillow.
もう終わったはずだ。
He still has never seen her.
昔に私が終わらせた。なのに今になってのうのうと復活だと。私の娘を奪っておいて。
敵は手強いですよ。
なんだあれ、ただの酔っ払いじゃねえか。
They didn't give me anything. They ignited a flame.
容疑者は絞れてるが。は、ええ。おそらく異端解放戦線による犯行かと。私も捜査に協力させてくれ。
You're gonna get the confrontation we were scared of, I think.
組織長は判明してるのか？はい。情報は錯綜してますが、おそらく女性かと。顔を見た者は何人かいます。証言によると、歯が抜けてるとか。間抜けだな。しかし、彼の逃亡先がわかりません。目的も不明です。行き詰まった時は、まず前提を疑うんだ。異端を解放することは目的ではなく、手段であると仮定しよう。奴らの真の目的が教会正統派を打倒することだとしたら、そのために本は有効に使える。というのも、本は効率よく人の思想を変えうる可能性がある。
A form that has evolved even to today.
異端審問官なら最新技術に注視するといい。
How's this old man locked in more than you?
悪事に利用される。今回の場合、本を手軽に量産できる。
Or snapped into it with alcohol's his superpower.
それらの仮説を統合すると、奴らは今回本を出版する可能性が高い。
You were watching a master at work, my guy Ash.
早速印刷機職人と活字職人に聞き込みを。足がつかないように
機材を自作してる可能性もあるから、最近になってブドウの圧搾機とか鉛を大量に入手した人物、場所がないか調べよう。はい。彼らは操られてるだけだ。ある種被害者だよ。真の敵は彼らではない。え？これは私の使命だ。私の運命だ。
All you got left.
命がある限りどこまでも追いかけてやる。諸悪の根源を指導説とぶち殺す。
Awfully brave of you here. And she wasn't, I don't think.
なぜ本を燃やしたの？ないとついてこられなかった。あの本に何の用が？あれを使って大儲けできそうだった。
It's an opportunity.
しかもあなたたちは印刷機ってのまで持ってる。このチャンスは逃せない。そうだ。本の内容と引き換えにこの本で出た利益の2
Give me some money.
検討してくれますか？あなたの燃やしたものはおそらく私の古い友人が書いたものだった。だとしたらそれは私にとってとても重要なもの。存在を知った時は驚きで高熱が出るほどだった。だからお金稼ぎの道具に終わらせてほしくない。それじゃもったいない。
Such a cool environment.
あそこに土星が見えるでしょ。ほう。惑星はそれぞれ進行速度が違う。あの土星があそこと同じ位置にいたのはどれくらい前だと思う？そう。30年前。あの星があそこにいた時、私は9歳。幾何学に夢中だった。5年後、14歳で地動説に出会った。その6年後、20歳で初めて人を殺した。そして今、39歳であなたと出会って、土星は空を一周した。あなたの読んだ地動説を覗き込むと、神の偉業が見えてくる。申し訳ないですけど、それ何の話ですか？私の感動を必死に伝えてる。はあ、だからなんで私にそんな話するんですか？
So you don't just treat it as simple as a way to make money.
あの本を読んだたった一人の存在で、地動説を知ってる数少ない仲間で、簡単に言うと、なぜか今、私とあなたが出会ったか、私が感じた価値を話させてほしい。お金儲け以外のね。金稼ぎを蔑むようだけど、あなたのやってることは？人を殺して異端を解放して社会を乱す。これって褒められることですか？いいえ。でも迷いはない。私は取り返してるだけ。教会に奪われた自由と人生を。
Interesting thought.
友。個人の自由を制限する権威は打倒されるべき。
I agree.
でも、それはあなたも同じじゃ。違う。と言いたいけど、その通りかもね。私も何度も人を殺した。確かに真理を盾に暴力は加速しうる。もしかしたら、私は地動説という権威を盲信し、部下は思考停止で従ってるだけかも。さらに悲しいことに、ある種それは必然で、つまり何かを前提にしないと論理を立てられない人間理性の本質的限界として、思考すると常に何らかの前提が成り立ち、それがいつしか権威となる。時には美しい偉業を、時には醜い悲劇を生む。あなたのこれが悲劇でない根拠は？私の目的地には自由があると信じてるから。自由の定義はそう問えること。少し喋りすぎたかな。そろそろ戻りましょう。
You're surely at an interesting point in your life.
隊長。 ここで早速印刷を。
いや、ここへは活字を回収しに来ただけだ。印刷機は次の場所だよ。危険は分散させてる。
では次こそがこの最重要任務の最終目的地なのですね。それはどこで？
我々が次に向かうのは。
たら貸してあげてもいい。何を売るかはあなたの。
You can do something else. Just this is our thing.
と思うけど、どうかな。
Yeah. No use for it after you get out what you want.
はい、それでお願いします。
本の内容を聞かせて。私も古い友人と久々に再会した。
Cool. All the way to the end. To the light rises.
どうしてそんなに稼ぎたいの？
それが私の信念だからです。
なら重要だな。でも時々信念なんて忘れさせる何かに出会ったりする。その感情も大切にすべきでないと。
Not even just forgets, but reassess.
私みたいになる。信念はすぐ呪いに化ける。それは私の強さであって限界でもある。
でも信念を忘れたら人は迷う。
迷って。
Do you find that
きっと迷いの中に倫理がある。
in this context it works perfect in comparison, I guess, to what I said at the beginning. A return of a familiar face, much older, much more matured, with new perspectives on a variety of things and life in itself. Actually, a return in two faces. I don't know why I just said one, because the other one's on the same sort of path, with Novak coming back as well. We set up really interesting stuff in regards to a interaction that likely will occur at some point. I kind of hope it does, but at the same time, I think there could be ways to write it that they don't necessarily need to ever happen. I'd be interested to see exactly how they plot this out and make it end up working. But the crossing paths between the two of them, believing one another, were gone for years and years on end, as well as, you know, how much things have changed and each of them fighting for something. Novak especially fighting after something, not recognizing, you know, he's going to be completely going against his daughter and realizing, you know, that the thing that he's fighting for really is benefiting those in which he's actually really opposed to, in a way too. Thinking, you know, his whole life was ruined directly through heliocentrism, which it was to an extent, but not necessarily realizing it was all schemed and plotted directly through those in which you're benefiting here is a heartbreaking thing that I fear for when it actually has to become a reality for him to recognize. That realization is going to suck. So I'm not looking forward to that at all for the poor guy. He's super interesting and such a fun face to have on screen every time. Every interaction, every word and thing that comes out of his mouth is so intriguing. And he's been easily the brightest of spots, in my opinion, throughout the entirety of the series. Despite Raph's, you know, 3 episodes that he had being probably number one. He's so cool. That man has so much aura, you know. You know how much aura you must have as a man to spew one line and to be as uninvolved as you almost were in the series, to linger all these years later, especially as a child, to somebody like Novak. That's some next level shit. That's so cool. I love that for it. I really, really, really do. But honestly, that's basically what we set up. We get some really cool, interesting scenes, some fun perspectives and dialogue between the characters. And that's the episode. So we're going to skim through so I can maybe, know exactly where I'm at and what I'm talking about. But really fun stuff being kind of presented for what's to come. Start off throwing us for a complete loop. Got Ash here, who is a absolute menace, just not believing in anyone. Any of these heretics, and just being like, we're just gonna fuck them up, just kill them all. They're all bad anyways. Until bro gets like fucking spat on here, which makes him just dunk him in the water again. It's super funny how, the thing that you're rooting for essentially goes completely against you, especially in the time of teaching that you're trying to have here. Interesting to see he still has this. I don't recall, it's been a minute, I don't recall where exactly we last saw it to remember that he would actually obtain it. So I'm curious how exactly he got it, but the fact that he's keeping it and using it as his fuel directly for heliocentrism, and this is the symbol for it, is really fun. A fun interaction too, out of him just being completely drunk and uninterested in everything until we directly bring up his past and, the things that he was once after. It's all been gone years and years ago. My daughter is still dead. Why are you coming back to life? And like I said, the words are off, just shooting him directly in the heart. It's the truth, You're fighting against something that's bound to occur. You can only put a stop to it for so long, and unfortunately going to meet your end at some point through your own fault or through, the ways of the world. We're about to find out how bad that can really get, though, when you end up having this confrontation between you and your daughter. Just to have him come back up here, too, and immediately being aware of everything, getting all the information out of him, and then just clicking, being like, this is the way things evolve, this is how things happen, and really showing this distinct level between him and where people are at now, and how different, I guess, just in a way he is. It would make perfect sense why they've been even hiding and why all these people keep going uncaptured and stuff over all these years. Like, look who's no longer in the game, Look who they took from it. This shit could have been solved years and years ago if you guys didn't do that to him or do that to his daughter. And I really like Yolento's mindset too, of just like how important this was. A dear friends even, that went out of their way to do something. I have a connection directly to that book, and the fact that you burnt that physical, representation of it ruins that entirely. And you just don't really appreciate the way that she's kind of treated these things, while logically making sense what Draco's trying to do and why she's doing it. It still stings to a level. So trying to express that, especially in the conversation that we get right after this, of her showcasing, what exactly this stuff means to her, and trying to maybe find that sort of connection between the two of them. And I don't know, maybe just rub this off a little bit onto her, to let her know, like, hey, I really don't appreciate you just solely trying to make money for it, but being able to be the partners in a way. You exchange this info for me, I won't let you sell something like this off, but I'll give you the opportunity to tell these other stories or find these other unique stories and these things and print what it is that you need to. And I have no more use for it after the freedom that the truth that I've been looking for, and the freedom that I've been trying to achieve all these years has finally been, acknowledged and reached. There's nothing left for me to really do here. So I don't care. I don't value money at all here. Super cool scenery here. Makes both of them look completely badass just standing there, especially Yolento with the cape going up with the sword. How things have changed, the passion over time, and all, like having to kill somebody now. I'm trying to share it with you because you're the only one who can actually know. We cross paths for a reason. She's like, so what? So what? Do you think you're better than everyone? You're belittling the things I'm after, and here you are killing people and going against the ways of the church. And are you proud of yourself for where you're at? No. But as simple as it needs to be, I have no second thoughts for it. The things I was after, the truth, the freedom, the things that I sought for, that I worked towards and I sought after, are stripped and taken fully from me. I still believe in this. I'm going to do what I can to achieve that, even if that means me going on the opposite end of the spectrum, right? If my morals no longer align with what is thought to be right and wrong, I do not care, as long as I can achieve the things I can. And there's a level of evil that comes along with that, right? There's a level of a barrier, of a line that you don't cross in regards to whether it's killing or whether it's just whatever it is, especially time and place being very strongly dependent on it, you don't care at a certain point. It just goes out the window. It no longer matters. That line, that thing that you draw, it's something you're going to find when you're lost, which is how she puts it, which is a fun way to look at it. I've never really viewed it in that sort of way, and especially how she brings it towards the end of the episode, I think it connects really well. Typically, the way I've always viewed it is finding that line when it's convenient towards you. Everybody deep down feeling a type of way towards certain types of issues or where they lie morally in regards to specifics, but when you're pressed about it or whatever it is, you're going to fall in line with what potentially is convenient for you, not necessarily what is really the grounds that you necessarily want to stand on. And not always, right? There's always unique factors, and of course somebody like Yolenta being lost in this sense and finding that at that time allows her to push past and then stand on these things even when it's not convenient to her. So it doesn't fully apply, but I've always just simply thought of it in that sort of way. So expanding this a little bit more outwards towards maybe other sort of beliefs in a way, I think or just viewpoints even, is pretty interesting. Authorities who suppress individual freedom should be overthrown. Aren't you literally doing the same? Yeah, in a way, but fuck it at this point. And I love the way that she overall just kind of puts this, how do you know that what you're doing, what you're seeking after is not producing tragedy in itself? Along the way, the path that you have to lay is absolutely doing so. So how do you know that end goal, that place that you're going to reach, that freedom that you believe you're going to find is going to be that? Well, at the end of the path, that's where it is. In my mind, in my reality, that's what's going to happen. How do you define freedom? The ability to even ask a question similar to that. Really cool. I don't know what the fuck they're doing here. They're setting up the final thing. I'm getting a little sus vibes here. Maybe I probably shouldn't. Maybe it's just, in lines with the final encounter and thing likely coming here, but I'm feeling all weird about it. Giving her the ability to learn all of this, super cool. Telling the story, having us fade and blend in with Oxy is really fun too. It's like hearing the story directly from that in which you taught to even have the ability to go out of their way and create what exactly it is that you're hearing from. He experimented in a way too. He learned to read and write and do all this. It's like the good old days, having that conversation and that catch up that you'll never be able to have again. Really awesome stuff. Money is my conviction. You'll meet something that makes you forget your convictions. Otherwise, you end up like me. And it becomes a curse. That conviction being your source of strength as well as the thing that limits you. It's rough. Get our convictions, we can only wander. You keep wandering. And that morality is something that you'll find along the way. Super cool. It's a really interesting episode. It's fun for setting up what is to come while having some of the more intriguing dialogue, I think, throughout all the series. I think probably unpopularly, and it's not to hate in any sort of way, I do think there are certain episodes and moments where there are characters talking on beliefs or just their perspective on certain things where it is kind of coming off, or to me at least it does, where it's trying to be deeper than what's really actually there. Whereas I feel like this conversation has a little bit more to that. And actually nails that a lot stronger than some of the other conversations. Not all. There are a lot, I mean, that actually accomplished similar to this. But I do think that this is another really high point of those. So with that being said, that's all from me. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you liked it all, like and subscribe to me. Feel free to trade in the channel in the comments. There is series. I'll be back very soon. Hopefully, no promises, but hopefully very soon for episode 20. Hopefully we can get this off the ground and get on our way and finish. You guys have a great one though. Peace.